right, so I'm going to make this brief video of how I am planning to do my video presentation for the project. All right, this is the first slide. Let's bring in the transitions, demo, presentation zones. All right, so this is just a demo of how I plan to use my transitions. I may do something fancy, but like this would suffice for now. At the right of the screen, so you can see my face. So whenever I talk about stuff, you will be seeing me at the same time as I speak. All right, that's about it for the first slide, guys. On to the next. The next slide deals with the zones that I use as part of my slides. The major zone that I use is this one with the yellow square. This is the one which is called the area where I will be showing my code, my text, my videos, my slides. So basically whatever I talk about in the presentation would be on this part of the screen. All right, this zone of the screen to be more exact. At the bottom right, you will see the speaker zone. Once again, you will see me, and whatever I talk about would be at the bottom right of the screen. All right, that's it. Oh yeah, that's me. All right, on to the next slide. And yeah, I forgot, before I forget, I wanted to keep it simple. That's why I use these two zones. It is subject to change, but this would be the base for whatever I do. Okay, on to the next slide. Now that we talked about the zones, I'm going to make a brief example of how to put these things together. All right, let's have a look at that next. All right, so in this screen, I'm just going to show you the various transitions that we'll be using as part of the slides. So you can just have a look at those and see how they appear. So if you saw the blocks, they appear in a stretch, right? So you can look at the words, how they appear slowly, gradually, and under the square for the cyclic matrix. So that is one of the transitions I was thinking of using. And the next one I'm really interested in is the one that I used for the sorting. So I'll show you how it works. One of the cool things is you can move these blocks of words like roundabout, and you can like rearrange them. I think this is something very powerful, and this is something that we can use when we have to say something about say like a neural network, right? It'd be very useful for that. I wanted to bring that to your notice. Now the last thing is so I want to show how we can move like stuff about in the screen. So if you look under the block for the encode, it's just doing some processing of the words. It's just marking them with numbers and with alphabets. Now if you see the 1N, the 1C, the 1D, they will all move in front to the end of the encoding pipeline. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. So these are the transitions I'm thinking of using. That's it. Hey guys, so this. All right, let me just turn on the mic. Is it on? Yeah, I guess it is. All right. Hey guys, so this is just a brief look at how things might look if we plan to share code on the screen as part of our video. All right, so here I'm just using the C++ code just to give a rundown of how things might look, but we are using MATLAB, right? So things might be different. Yeah, but nevertheless, this will give us a brief look at what to expect. Should we ever plan to share code on the screen and show what happens if we step through the code? All right, so I've just got some piece of code that I've used to implement an encoding algorithm. So I've just set some points over here, which will halt the execution of the code so we can see what's going on. All right, so part one is to read the input from the user. And this particular line will show what has been entered by the user. The input is the word Canada. So that has been what has been entered by the user. All right, so we got the input from the user. We run it through the next stage of the pipeline that makes a cyclically shifted matrix. All right, so we have a cyclically shifted matrix. And what this means is you take the first letter A and move to the front and you make a new word. You take the letter D, you move to the front and you make a new word, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to go into the details, as it's not to explain this algorithm, but just to show how things may look if we do run something on the screen like this, right? Showing the code. All right, so the next stage is another part of the pipeline that does a kind of a sort. It takes these words that we had in the second stage of the pipeline and it does a sorting on them. It looks at the last letter of each of these words and it uses that to do sorting. And as a result, you can see the A's are all together, the C's come next, the D's, and then the N's. All right. Now we go to the last stage of the pipeline, which gives us the encoded output. All right. So this is the encoded output. And as you can see here, so what the last line means is like 1n means if you look at the first column of the matrix, it has only a single n, right? Hence 1n. You have just a single C, hence 1C. You have a single D, hence 1D. But if you look at the A's, you got 3 A's that come one after the other. As a result, you have the number 3 followed by A's. So this is the output of this scheme used for doing some encoding. All right. And I guess that's about it, guys. I just wanted to give a brief proof of concept. Should we plan to share code as part of our video? All right. That's it. So I'll stop the share now and let's call it a day.